Hello, my sisters and brothers. Welcome. It is so good to be here with you. I just got off another Wednesday conscious community coffee break, I think is what we're calling it, inside the Elev8te Community. And if you haven't joined us there yet, please consider it if this kind of stuff really resonates with you. If you like the vibe that you get from me, you're going to love what we have inside the community. So many sisters were just connecting today, and it's just beautiful, like just connecting and realizing, wow, we have so much in common, and feeling that goodness and that vibe of your tribe. So anyways, I'm just glowing after this call, and I wanted to jump on right now and record this video since why not now? But really, what we were talking about a little bit inside our call today was about the energies that are at play right now. And it's interesting because there's the energies of the masculine and the feminine coming up super strong this week. And so, what does that look like? Okay, you may be familiar with the planets Mars and Venus. And those are typically the ones that are dictated as like Mars the masculine, Venus the feminine, and for very good reason. So they are influencing our masculine and feminine dynamics in all areas of our life. We see this in how we come together in partnerships in a really big way, but it's also how we express these energies within us, just in our own internal dialogue. And it's this real battle between the flow of Venus and the force, you could say, of Mars. So it's a lot of action taking, sinking in, this kind of play between the two. And so I just want to talk a little bit about what you may be noticing as you've gone through the last weeks. I've had friends contacting me and clients contacting me, and inside our group call that we just got off of now, it's just like, yeah, there's this theme. So what is it about the energy, this masculine energy, that Mars really does amplify when it's present? And it's fully present now. Okay. It reveals what ignites us. It's the stuff that gets us fired up. It's that firing up in a good way, and then also firing up in a way that may feel like it's aggravating us or it's bothering us. Both is what it does. It's an amplifier of this kind of stuff. It's also an energy that gives us motivation. It's like the desire and that fire to just get things done. It's a fuel, you could say, for productivity. And when we want to like move things forward, you can also see it when it's that energy when you want to complete something, or you're moving towards a deadline, or when you are also when you're like expressing deeply held values for yourself. It's like that fierce kind of power or forward movement, that you can have. It's a moving energy. It's faster paced than something that would be slow and maybe more gentle. Imagine it's kind of like, as a visual, it's kind of like seeing an athlete at the starting gate, and you're full of adrenaline because you know that gun's going to shoot any second. It's going to be go time. That's the kind of energy. It's like being ready to sprint, being ready to win the race, do whatever it takes. It's that kind of real powerful building energy. And so that's what's really been kicking in since Saturday, essentially. And it's this desire for momentum and starting to feel the momentum. And by the way, I apologize, I have my window open because it's such a nice day, albeit overcast, which I have, but my neighbor's doing the lawn, so you might hear a mower go by, and that's perfectly fine. Okay, so the the other side of this energy is where it can also be like over guarding or over protecting, not necessarily in um protecting as like an inward thing, but like protecting as in like, you're not going forward with this, you're not going to do this. It's like a confronting kind of like, no way, I'm not taking it, that kind of energy, which can be helpful, but it's just, there's a balance to things. If we go too far off the deep end with that, then it can be overly confronting and not really bring the positive aspect of that energy that really are helpful, because it helps us define how we want to engage and relate with others. But then it just becomes like overbearing. So just be aware of that and notice if that's been happening. And if it has, okay, you can just recheck and maybe soften a little. So softening would be what? Bringing in that feminine energy, bringing in that Venus energy, which is available to us. So just notice where you are on the scale. And if you've been noticing any of what I've talked about already, please pop it in the chat. I'd like to know. We've been having some great conversations inside the Elev8te community, and I'd like to have a great chat with you here. And if you want to join us and continue the conversation in there, please do. You'll find the link in the description down here. Right now, we're located on Facebook, but we are going to be moving very soon. And I'm so excited about that. I'll tell you more about that later. Okay. So we started seeing this really coming through on Monday. Now, did anybody have kind of an interesting day on Monday? Did anybody notice, like, oh, now there's a raised hand. My God, lower my hand, lower. Anyways, we started feeling this energy coming in quite strongly on Monday. And what this does, well, and it also has to do with Pisces too. So if you have Pisces in your chart, you would be feeling this even more strongly. Okay. Pisces might say, oh, yeah, well, I was even more sensitive than I was before. Or I was even more passionate, than I normally would be. But that's a big piece of who I am. And maybe even bringing up more of your spirituality coming to the surface, or heightening your intuition, not just for Pisces, but just all of us in general, right? You may have noticed that on Monday. On Tuesday, this is where things started to feel more like new beginnings. Why? Well, partially, it was also the 30th of April, which was the end of April. So it was a door nearing being closed for us. And so that was a new cycle cosmically, but also we felt it as like, there's this newness coming. How many of you felt like, I'm just like ready to rebirth myself, or you're fully aware that you're rebirthing? How many of you felt like there was a turning point that took place over the last couple of days, or maybe even just today being the 1st of May, that you noticed that there was a massive shift and you're like, okay, I don't know necessarily where I'm going. That's a theme, but I know that I'm not going back to that. Who here has felt that? Please type it in the chat. I'd like to know. We're taking a survey. We do this a lot inside the community, and it is so freaking fun to see the trends of what is so common between us all, especially if you resonate with this kind of stuff that I'm sharing. Just in general, when I share, you will resonate, and you will probably notice that there are some big themes that we all share together as we weave our way through this year ahead. So that's a big thing too. Okay. Forward momentum. Yeah. Who does not feel like the momentum is building and you just want clarity on where to go, and then you'll go? I know I used to say, and tell me if you're like me. Okay. You've ever had this feeling where it's just like, if I just knew where to go, if I just knew, like, give me a plan, give me a dot on the map and say go, and I'm ready. I'm gone. Like, I'm so ready to go. Does anybody feel like that? Yeah. Okay. Well, on this theme, actually, I'm going to inject it right here. As we build this new community forward, whether or not you're going to be part of this community is irrelevant, but I'm just curious. What are the things that right now you are finding, like, that's that one thing? Like, if I could just, then I could move forward towards what I really want. If I could just do this, or find this, or get help with this, then I know I could make my dream life a reality. I know I could overcome this thing that's been tying me down. What's that one thing for you? I asked this question today in the group and got some beautiful answers, beautiful answers. A lot of it had to do with, clarity of direction. Some of the things was just like, deprogramming the mind, like getting rid of these programs that are standing in the way of your natural full expression. What is it for you? What are you noticing? What is it that, if you could just do that, you'd have clear sailing ahead? It would be an easier path. Things would start to unfold for you. Please type it in the comments. And the reason also I'm asking this is because I'm going to be bringing forth more of these things inside this community, the Elev8te community, but then also perhaps even here in more videos. So tell me what you're looking for. Tell me what it is that you need support with. What's that one thing? If you're not familiar with the kind of work that I do, I don't have everything set up on my social yet to be able to share it completely, but you could look at the video that is down in my feed somewhere. I'll put a link actually in the description. That is the Awakening Eden Mentorship Program. Not necessarily saying go, because that program is not open at the moment, but it gives you an idea of the kind of experiences that people have going through this kind of work, like my world, the stuff that I love to do and support people on. But whether it's that or there's other things, like there's a lot around purpose right now that people are asking about. And I'm feeling that in the collective. So I just want to know, like, where are you at? What do you need? Because I'm going to be making more content to support that for this channel, in the community, different experiences and things that we're going to do together there. So let me know. Okay. Now, I just want to bring one last piece forward. So if you're in a relationship, this is what you may be feeling, may be experiencing. And there's kind of two sides to this coin. So one is like, okay, if you're in a, I'm going to say it, if you're in a healthy, balanced relationship, you're going to experience it one way. If you're in a relationship that is not so balanced and maybe it's challenging and it's confronting, you guys are like really coming together on stuff, then you're going to experience it a different way. So let me give you some examples. So for relationships that are more challenging, you're probably now going to be feeling pulled to go deeper into whatever those control issues are, whatever those power issues are that you're experiencing. That's going to start to come up to the surface. And you're going to be feeling more resistance. If you're the one that is feeling like you're disempowered, you're going to be feeling more pushback, like I'm not taking this anymore. If you're feeling on the other side, maybe you're, yeah, well, I guess it's kind of the same, both sides, right? You're going to be feeling maybe holding your ground, or you may become more aggressively saying no. Either way, that's going to be one of the things, telltale signs of the energies that we're in right now. There's also stuff about value. Like, are you feeling valued in this relationship? Do you feel like you're being taken for granted? These are energetic themes that are coming up because of the planets that are in play right now. Not to say that that's necessarily happening in your experience, but if it is somewhere, you will be more sensitive to it and you will be more likely to react to it. And so this is where mastery over the programming that's in the mind that is allowing us to see things through that perspective really comes into play. Because if we don't have programming that is active, then we don't see things through the lens quite the same way. We may notice where there is an imbalance. We may notice where there is maybe some control or manipulation that is trying to take place in a relationship with somebody, whether it's an intimate one or otherwise. But we don't necessarily react to it the same way, right? We don't feel victimized by it. We're just like, oh, okay, that's interesting. That's not what I prefer. All right, I'm going to create more of this instead. So it's a very different experience. Not that it's bad to have the programming come up and have that kind of strong, fierce, adversarial reaction necessarily, because it is serving, because it's really pointing out, from my perspective, what's active in you. It's so much less about what's happening with the other person. Forget about them. It has nothing to do with them, even if they're being a nothing to do with them. They're serving you by pointing out what's actually still active in terms of a program that's operating within you. So thank them. And if that resonates with you or you're curious, it's all about the work that I do. Okay. So we can always play with that collectively as part of a group or, otherwise, but that's what you may be noticing. So keep an eye out for that. And remember, don't point the finger out there. Ultimately, all these playmates we're playing with are here to activate those things within us. And the planetary alignments are really here to support that as well. They're stirring up these energies at peak times to bring up certain themes so that systematically, as a collective, we can dismantle those programs and rewrite and redefine, recreate the human experience as we know it. Okay. Now, if you're in a healthy relationship, let's say, then the attraction factor is going to really kick up. You probably noticed this like even today. Okay, so today's a perfect example. So my relationship with my partner is a really good one. We're really balanced. We're really, um, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh my gosh, it slipped my mind. Anyways, it begins with the C. Anybody read my mind? Do you know what it is? Either way, complementary. We're really complementary. So we do have a balanced relationship. Do we ever disagree? Of course we do. But for the most part, we're very balanced and we complement each other well. And we also are open to seeing the perspective of the other person and are very aware of our own programming when it kicks in. So it makes disagreements or challenges a little different. So in these situations, then you would probably see that the attraction is more. So we woke up this morning and we cuddled literally for an hour. It was cuddling and then lovemaking. It was a beautiful way to start our day. It wasn't long, but we spent the time when we might normally not on a Wednesday morning. And it was just beautiful. And it was just natural and just unfolded lovely. And it's like, yeah, beautiful. Love the life we're creating together. And so that's the kind of amplification that you feel if it's already in a harmonious state where there isn't something that needs to be kicked up. And remember, it's not right or wrong that things are coming up and being kicked up. The mind will say, well, it sucks to be where I am and it sucks that I have programming kicked up. Fine, that's okay, but say thank you. Because it's the deprogramming of the programs that allows us to open into harmonious relating. And so it's serving you so well. If you're in that place, just know it's a great place to be because on the other side of it, it's awesome. Okay. More on that in another conversation. But that will be also, we'll notice that there's a lot of creativity. So maybe you're noticing it today, maybe not. But over the last couple of days, the energy of creativity is being heightened. I know for myself, I felt myself compelled to like play with things that were creative, like a little bit more into like, and I call this creative, like some strategy for social that I'm working on, and even some graphics and whatnot, or planning and imagining what certain experiences are going to look like that I'm going to take my clients through in the next weeks. So creativity is also kind of like on the upswing. It's like that momentum energy kicking in and fresh new starts. It's like new ideas, like the bright light bulb. Um, and really, the last thing is just repeating that it's about forward momentum. May is a 5 month, right? It's the 5th month of the year. And with that, it's all about change. It's about change. It's about breakthroughs. So if you're in the lows of the lows right now, just know that you are in the month of breakthroughs. So don't beat yourself up. Don't, again, complain too much, looking outside yourself, because it has nothing to do with them. It has to do with you. So look at that as a blessing. If you don't know how to handle it, how to deal with it, join us in Elevate. Send me a message, comment down below. The link to the Elevate community will be there. Like I said, it is going to be moving, but you can still join, message me there, and I can point you in the right direction. But just know that this is going to be an incredible, incredible portal that we're moving through. This now coming out of the birthing canal and really being reborn. It's like, who are you going to be reborn as? What do you want to see yourself become? What do you want to create in your life? These are all the things that we're thinking about and noticing and really desiring more and better as we go into these days ahead. So I hope this has been helpful. If this gave you some clarity, if it sparked something in you, let me know in the comments below. Let me also know, as I said, what is it that you want more of? What is it you need more support on? Rewatch that part if you could, and just let me know in the comments, what do you need more of? What's coming up for you? All right. Thank you for watching, sending you so much love. And until next time, bye for now.